Bindi, Chandler, oh, it has finally happened. Congratulations on your engagement. How are you two feeling?
Thank you so much.
Thank
It officially happened. We are so excited. This is just the best moment of our entire lives.
It was the best day of my life, and I'm so excited. How cool is this?
And it was so perfect. I mean, we're here at Australia Zoo right now, but Chandler proposed here at Australia Zoo. We met here at Australia Zoo. It was just beyond perfect, and I'm still speechless. I can't believe it.
It was amazing.
After 6 years together, how did you decide that this was the perfect moment to propose?
You know, we really were just enjoying life, and she was always the one. But it really seemed like the stars aligned. It was her 21st birthday, it was a big milestone, and it seemed like the perfect time to take the next step in our relationship.
I do think you hit it under my birthday though, because I would have been super suspicious if he had set up this photo shoot and told me, we're gonna get dressed up and do a family photo shoot. I would have been really suspicious if this was any ordinary day.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was my 21st birthday, I think you hid that very well.
Thank you.
Otherwise I would have been like, what is going on? So thankfully, also, I love my beautiful mum. Can I just add, Mum, the day before my birthday, said to me, you're about to turn 21, we have to have a girls' afternoon, let's go get manicures. So I was like, oh, okay, that sounds lovely, because I never get my nails done. I mean, I work with wildlife, why would I paint my nails? And so I think that the stars lined up perfectly, so I didn't become suspicious. So I got a manicure, looked great for the actual
We all had our
moment.
secret plan.
Yeah.
No, but it's so great having Terry and Robert too, because I've gotten the best family in addition to all of this. Terry has been so supportive since day one, and Robert's always there to help out too. So I got the best family in addition to all of this, and the perfect girl.
You two have talked about knowing that you're each other's soulmates. How and when did you know?
From the moment I met Bindi, I knew she was the perfect girl in my life, the one. And we just enjoyed life up until now, but it seemed like the stars really aligned for this to be the perfect moment. So it was Bindi's 21st birthday, and we had a 21st birthday photo shoot organized after we did all the Australia Zoo festivities. So we got all ready, and right before the photo shoot, Bindi and I went to a private garden in the zoo, and it was just the perfect time to pop the question. So
it was really
It was
wonderful.
the best moment of my life, and we'll remember it forever.
Best 21st birthday present ever.
And what was awesome was Robert was actually hiding in the bushes, and Bindi didn't know this at all. So Robert was hiding in the bushes and captured the exact moment where we asked the question. So
I kept forgetting it was my birthday. I'm running around telling everyone, I'm engaged. Everyone's going, well, happy birthday as well.
that too.
I'm engaged. It doesn't matter. It was amazing.
The proposal sounds perfect, but Chandler, how long have you been planning all this?
leading up, I've had this plan for a while. So I had the ring already, and it was about a couple weeks that I had the ring that I was waiting for this all to line up. And the more I waited, the more excited I got. I just wanted to ask her immediately, but I knew I wanted it to be perfect.
In the photos, you'll see that Chandler's holding the ring box, and Robert's so cute. Robert's taking all the photos. But in one of the photos, you'll see I'm kind of reaching out towards Chandler's hands because his hands were shaking with the ring box. I was like, it's okay, I'm gonna say yes. Don't worry.
Don't worry. No, I was so excited.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I had no suspicions, genuinely. I had no idea. I was just like, yep, it's my birthday, this is great, going for a walk, and then Chandler gets down on one knee, and I freaked out. I don't know if I screamed or if I said yes. Maybe it was a combination of both.
Can you guys take me inside? Walk me through the actual moment of you popping the question.
You know, we were getting ready to go for the photo shoot, and I said, oh, you know, everyone's still getting set up, so why don't we just go for a walk, have some quiet time, because we have a big celebration at the zoo every year for Bindi's birthday. So it was the perfect time to say, let's just have a moment, let's relax for a second. And we walked into the gardens, and I walked to the spot that I picked out with Robert a couple days ago, and just said, now seems like the perfect chance, will you marry me?
And it was amazing, and I was so happy, and I'm so glad that Robert captured it on camera. Oh my goodness, I'm just so happy. I might explode into confetti or glitter at any moment.
And what's great is we'll have those photos forever now.
It's
so it's all captured, and we'll remember it for every year to come.
But it terrifies me. It's this beautiful emotional moment, and we're like crying, and I'm hugging Chandler, and then Robert bursts out from behind the tree. He's like, yay,
you guys are engaged!
I'm like,
I was like, oh yeah, Robert's here too.
Yeah, I think I had a bit of a heart attack when Robert burst out, but it was great.
It worked out.
Bindi, I know there's so much joy, but I would imagine your dad, Steve, is on your mind. What is it like to celebrate this milestone, but to still wish that he was here?
Yeah, that's a really good question. But this is why I love talking to you so much, because you completely get it. And I think that a lot of us in life have lost someone really close to us. And these big milestones are often the hardest, because that's when you want someone there. And I think that when the time comes that we do get married, and hopefully it's soon, because I'm really excited to marry this guy.
Can't wait.
But I think that for me, it'll be really important that Robert walks me down the aisle, and that's something that I really want to do. And ever since Dad passed away, you know, as a little girl, you always think about your wedding day, and I'm always so grateful that Robert is there, and he has been such a big part of my life, and he's always stepped up and been the one to, you know, give me a hug when I need it and encourage me forward in life. So he will definitely be the one to walk me down the aisle when the time comes, and I think that will make it really special, and I think that's what Dad would have wanted as well. I think it was genuinely a bittersweet time. So, you know, in the moment it was so incredibly special, but then at the same time, for me, on a personal note, there's people who I really wish could be here today for this time in my life, and particularly Dad. I wish that he could be here to be getting excited and welcoming Chandler to the family, and I think that's really challenging. So it's kind of one of the happiest times in my life, and also one of the most challenging.
Bindi, how do you think your dad would have reacted to Chandler and to him being the one who has taken your heart?
I think that Dad would have loved Chandler
Exactly.
so much, and he would have been so excited that he's now part of our family, and the fact that I found my person in life is just so wonderful. And Mum and Robert were all giving me hugs, and Dad's best mate at Australia Zoo, Wes Mannion, he was there as well when we were all getting photos together as a family, and he was saying how proud and excited Dad would have been too. So it was really special to have that feeling that Dad was kind of with us in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really nice. So yeah, it was kind of that bittersweet moment, but I'm just so happy. My mum sent me a text that evening after we had announced everything, and I was getting ready for bed, and she texted me and she said, you know, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited that we welcomed Chandler into the family. But she said no one would have been more excited than your dad, and he would have just cried all day. And I said that's so special, because, you know, everyone looks at Dad. He was the strongest person in the whole world, and yet, you know, whenever I would accomplish something big in life, from the time I was a little girl, he would always tear up. And I remember being teeny tiny, and I'd started filming Bindi the Jungle Girl, and he would watch me film, and then he'd get a little bit teary-eyed. And I think that it was really special hearing that from Mum, that, you know, out of all of us, Dad would have been probably the most excited and the most emotional, and it's wonderful. I wish so much that he could be here to revel in this time, but I suppose in a way he is. I mean, his spirit lives on in all of us, and I could definitely feel just his energy on the day. I really think so.
Yeah, he's always with us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Chandler, did you go by tradition? Did you ask Terry and Robert for their blessing before proposing? And if you did, how did it go?
Yeah.
You have to tell them about the picnic.
Oh, I do have to tell about the picnic. So I wanted to ask Terry and Robert, and we've been a family for 6 years, so they feel like family to me too. And they're just the most supportive people in the entire world. They have your back no matter what. So I really wanted to ask them, but also make that special too. So I sent out, also in the Australia Zoo Gardens, a nice picnic blanket with cheeses and fruit and everything, and sat them down. We're having a nice picnic, and kookaburras were coming in, and we were feeding them. And I asked them, you know, I really love Bindi. She is the girl of my dreams, and I'm so blessed to spend my life with her. And I really want to ask your guys' permission to marry Bindi. And immediately they were so supportive and gave me the biggest hug and said, welcome to the family. And it was really, really special.
And I love that. I just found out about this. So because we've been filming for Crikey, It's the Irwins, we've all been running around filming different stories. So Chandler said, oh, maybe while you're out filming with the kangaroo joeys, I might go and catch up with your mum and brother. I was like,
Yeah,
that
spend
sounds
a day
great.
with them.
And now I found out that they actually all had a picnic together, and that's what they were talking
That's
about.
what I asked.
So that was really special.
Yeah.
So how long has all this been in the works? When did you ask Terry and Robert, and when did you start working on the ring?
The longest process was actually finding the perfect ring. So I wanted to find one that represented everything summed up Bindi, her positivity, the way how she's old-fashioned and just traditional, and I wanted the perfect ring. So I asked Terry and Robert, and then actually had their help in choosing the ring.
You guys have been together almost 6 years. I'm guessing you had talked about what kind of ring you wanted and getting married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did come up.
It did.
come up. We actually did. I think my biggest thing that I said to Chandler is I really want, if you ever get the chance to get a ring, I really want a lab-grown diamond. So Chandler found this beautiful ring, and it's made from recycled rose gold, and the diamond is lab-grown, and it's perfect. So it made me really happy, and it does have a little nod towards my life with its twisted band. It's kind of nature inspired, so it's really special, and I love it. It's so perfect.
All right, so you guys have mentioned quickie wedding. I gotta ask, when are we thinking? Where? What's the vibe? How many people?
We're ready.
I'm ready to get
Yeah,
married.
we're ready to get married.
It's true. So, but probably, honestly, I'm thinking probably next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking I want to get everything ready this year, and then beginning of next year, I'd like to
2020.
make it happen. Definitely. 2020 sounds pretty good to me.
It sounds perfect. So I do have to say, of course, it's going to happen at the zoo. I mean, we met at the zoo. It's where we work, and we love what we do. We got engaged at the zoo, so it only seems like the perfect place to have a wedding. So it'll definitely be at Australia Zoo.
Totally. And timing, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I mean, we got engaged like 2 days ago, so I'm already planning everything. I think that, have you ever seen the show Parks and Recreation? So Leslie Knope from Parks and Recreation, these guys always tease me that I am truly Leslie Knope. So I'm getting out my binders and things. I'm ready to go. So yes, it will definitely be at Australia Zoo. And yeah, it's a few months away because I have to make sure everything is perfect because I am Leslie Knope. So it's a few months away, but I guarantee you it will be here at Australia Zoo.
Yes.
Bindi, we know khaki is not just a color, it's a lifestyle, but will you go as far as wearing a khaki dress?
No, not khaki for the wedding dress, I don't think. I think you guys can all wear khaki.
Yeah, we can all wear khaki. Bindi's very old-fashioned and traditional, so I think it'll be a white dress, and then I'll hold up the khaki end.
Definitely. But I think for me, I am genuinely quite traditional, so I think that I'd love a dress that kind of shows off my personality. I'm always saying that inside I feel like an 80-year-old woman because I've lived so many lives in this one lifetime. But it will be, I love the look of lace and long sleeves and something that's just really traditional and special.
Bindi, I know that your dad is always with you. A wedding's such an emotional day. How do you want to make sure that his presence is still felt?
I think that for me, the most important thing is getting married here at Australia Zoo because this is where I feel closest to Dad. So there's going to be a whole lot of planning that goes into the wedding day. Yeah. But for me, at the heart of it all, I want to make sure that my mum is there, that my brother is there, and that it's a really close family event and that we remember Dad. So whether it's a clip that we play of Dad or something that just reminds us of him.
There is that moment that a lot of little girls think about, their dad walking them down the aisle. You also have things like a first dance. My brother did my first dance with me. Bindi, who will be your first dance?
It would be with my mum because my mum and I are so close and she's my pillar of strength in life and I love her beyond description. So yeah, I think that when the time comes, Robert will walk me down the aisle, we'll have our wonderful moment, and then I'll have my dance with Mum, and I think that would be wonderful.
Bindi, your mother, Terry, is such an incredible soul. What kind of advice has she given you throughout this journey?
Absolutely. My mum has been just the pillar of strength and support throughout our entire relationship. Mum has been the one
Completely.
who has helped us throughout the entire journey, honestly. I mean, long distance for us, because Chandler, living in Florida, me in Australia, it was really challenging. So through it all, Mum was this great strength. She was always there to offer us advice and pass on these little pearls of wisdom. And it's the same now after getting engaged. I think Mum was so special. She said to me a few months ago, she said, your dad and I always used to talk about what makes a perfect marriage or a really wonderful marriage. And she said, what's interesting is that for us, it was kind of that feeling of comfort. So, your relationship can be this wonderful, exciting adventure, but you want to find someone who at the end of the day you're really comfortable with. And she said, for your dad and I, it was the fact that we were kind of like an old shoe. And it sounds really weird, but if you have your most comfortable pair of shoes, you can always count on them. They're always going to hold up and they'll walk you through life, and they're dependable. And she said that's what our marriage was. It was like the most comfortable pair of shoes. And she said that's what you're looking for, so you can enjoy all this wonderful adventure, but then at the end of the day you come home to someone who will always be there for you and who will back you up and just be that comfort and support in your life. And her marriage advice is so wonderful, because I feel like that's what we have.
Exactly. And what's amazing is your parents did long distance before there was any cell phones or anything, so it was writing letters back and forth.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate to live in a time where we could communicate regularly. So it was great having her advice with it all, because she had been through it with Steve. And what's really neat is, in a way, Steve and Terry almost brought us together. Because growing up in Florida, I grew up, Steve and Terry were my heroes. And when I came to Australia Zoo was at the top of my list because of Steve and Terry. And I never expected to meet the most beautiful girl and the love of my life the day I visited Australia Zoo.
It's really special. And I think that their love has inspired me my whole life. And for us, in our relationship, we've always looked up to them, because they had the most wonderful marriage where, life wasn't always this perfect fairy tale, but they were always there for each other.